It is almost impossible to predict when a unique situation will arise which requires the utilization of specialized rescue resources. Special operations by nature are high-risk, low-frequency events. Special operations are inherently dangerous, which is why training and appropriate equipment are incredibly important. The Germantown Fire Department Special Operations Team includes trench rescue, rope rescue, hazardous materials, water rescue, and confined space. Germantown is host to one of only 4 accredited swiftwater rescue teams in the state. Members of Germantown Swiftwater Team work alongside a team from Collierville Fire Department to provide local and regional response for water rescues. In addition, many members serve on the Federal Urban Search and Rescue Team and have been deployed across the country in support of natural disasters.
Multiple times throughout the year, we like to come to various locations and train on how we might encounter a victim that's stranded in the water. It gives us an opportunity to allow our boat operators to stay current on operating the boat, making precise turns, picking people up who are stranded in the water, actually, getting them out of the water and back into the boat. Within the city limits of Germantown, we have the Wolf River, and that's one of the biggest areas that we respond to as a swiftwater team with all the outdoor enthusiasts who might be out swimming or kayaking throughout the summertime. And training on a place like this allows us to stay current on our skills. We have 2 primary boats in our fleet. We have a 16-foot aluminum and a 10-foot inflatable. And the good thing about the aluminum boat is you can't puncture it. It can take a pretty good beating. It holds a lot of weight. We can put multiple team members and victims in the boat. It's equipped with a 25-horse Suzuki outboard, and that's going to give us enough power to maneuver our way through the water and to be able to safely get multiple people out at one time. The inflatable, it's a little bit smaller. It's only 10 foot, and it's equipped with a 15-foot outboard. And we're going to use it if we run into a little bit more turbulence or flowing, white water or something of that nature when the water's moving a little bit quicker. Just to be a member of the Swiftwater team, we're going to have to go through our Swiftwater 1 and 2, and that's a combined 80 hours between the 2 courses. Then we have our boat operators to run the boat. We have to go through an additional 40 hours of just how to operate outboard motors in a rescue situation.
The Germantown Fire Department is also host to an accredited hazmat team, which is able to provide local and regional response as needed. Germantown's hazmat team will conduct training with other agencies, such as the Coast Guard and local railroad, in order to prepare for a multitude of possible emergency situations.
The hazmat unit is here to respond to any hazardous situation. It could be a known chemical, it could be an unknown chemical, it could be any number of things. I mean, we're an all-hazard department, and hazmat just happens to be one of them that we respond to. To be on the hazardous material unit, you have to go through TEMA's hazmat tech program class. It's an 80-hour class. But annually, we also go through 8 hours of hazmat through our in-service training. On our department, a majority of the people are hazmat techs and are able to fill the roles that we need to do in a situation, which is a great thing about our department. We're cross-trained in a lot of things and able to wear many hats and do many things. But on the hazmat truck, we run out of Station 1 on cross-country. We're typically a 3-man crew. Sometimes we'll have 4 if we're lucky. But we'll carry the hazmat truck, which is behind me, as well as the engine, and we also have the capability of hooking up to a trailer and carrying more supplies, depending on what the incident is. We did a couple of different scenarios today. We were testing putting on a chlorine cap on a simulated rail car or tank car that was leaking, controlling the leak on that. It could be chlorine, it could be ammonia, it could be any type of 18-wheeler rail that's traveling up and down the railroad tracks at any given time throughout the day. Very unlikely that it would leak, but it's possible that it could. So that was one of the scenarios. We applied the chlorine kit for the rail car, and then we also did a simulated leak in a container, and we were testing the product that was in the container, as well as seeing if we could mitigate and stop the leak from whatever it was threatening to control it, to make it safe for the environment.
A majority of the fire department's personnel are trained in some aspect of rope rescue. Rope rescue is usually thought of as either high or low angle rescues. In reality, rope skills are the cornerstone of all technical rescue operations. For example, a water rescue team may be called upon to construct a rope system in order to lower a watercraft to a location that is hard to reach, or tying a patient to a Stokes basket for removal from a hazardous area or a confined space.
The importance of our rope rescue team is, a lot of times that might just be the safest and most efficient way to get someone out of whatever predicament that they're in. During rope rescue, the number one priority is patient care and rescue second. It's not just an object that we're trying to move down. We always have to consider that it is a patient, and they're injured somehow, either by trauma or have a medical condition, so we have to be able to take care of them properly. The difference between a high angle and low angle is high angle is your load, the basket, your victim, that is completely 100% supported by the rope system. Low angle, steep angle, the load is more supported by the ground, so you're not stressing your system like you would, like we did this morning off of our training building. The training that we have to go through, you have 3 different levels. You have the awareness level and operations and technician level. The majority of our department is trained at least to the awareness level. It's an 8-hour training course which allows them to be educated enough to, if they make a scene, mainly to be able to recognize, hey, we could utilize our rope rescue team for this because that would be the most efficient way, safest way to do this. They're pretty hands-off, but next you have the operations level, and that's a 40-hour course, and you are trained to do the majority of the work to be done on a rope rescue. Then you have the technician level, which is an additional 40-hour class of training, and that's the highest level of training that we receive. And as a technician, you can perform all the skills that are to be performed during a rope rescue. I'd say about half of our department are rope technicians.
Special operations requires a tremendous amount of dedication by the men and women who serve in these programs, and they truly play their part in making sure that we are prepared to provide excellence every call.